There's something deeply unsettling about watching a divine soul encounter her own reflection, something that reveals the most profound paradox of human existence. She doesn't admire herself. She doesn't adjust her appearance. She doesn't even really look. Instead, something ancient and primal takes over, a fear so deep it seems to come from the very fabric of existence itself. But here's what will disturb you about this cosmic terror. It has nothing to do with how she looks. When a soul awakens to its divine nature, the mirror becomes the most dangerous object in her reality, not because it shows something terrible, but because it shows something that isn't real at all. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this fear might be the wisest response a conscious being can have to their own reflection. Most people approach mirrors with curiosity or vanity. They want to see how they look, check their appearance, adjust their image. The mirror serves their ego's need for visual confirmation. But here's what they don't understand. A divine soul has transcended the need for visual confirmation because she knows what she truly is, and what she truly is cannot be reflected in any surface. She is consciousness itself, pure awareness, the space in which all experiences appear and disappear. How do you reflect space? How do you show awareness in a mirror? The divine soul fears the mirror because it shows her everything she is not, and nothing of what she truly is. If you're still watching, comment below space and tell me, have you ever looked in a mirror and felt like the person looking back wasn't really you? This fear runs deeper than psychology. It's ontological. It's a fear of mistaking the finite for the infinite, the temporary for the eternal, the image for reality itself. The divine soul has spent lifetimes remembering her true nature. She's glimpsed the vastness of what she really is. She's tasted the freedom of unlimited consciousness. But wait. There's something even more disturbing about this fear that challenges everything we believe about self-knowledge and awakening. The mirror doesn't just show the wrong thing. It actively hypnotizes consciousness into forgetting its true nature. Think about what happens when you look in a mirror. Your attention gets captured by the image. You start analyzing, judging, comparing. You become fascinated by this apparent other looking back at you. The divine soul recognizes this as a form of spiritual amnesia. The moment unlimited awareness looks at itself through the lens of form, it gets trapped in the illusion of being that form. This revelation leads to something most people find incomprehensible. She would rather live without mirrors entirely than risk losing her hard-won recognition of what she truly is. She would rather navigate the world without visual feedback than fall back into the trance of thinking she is her body. This isn't vanity or neurosis. This is spiritual self-preservation at the highest level. And here's where the story becomes truly mysterious. The divine soul's fear creates something beautiful. Without the constant reference to her physical appearance, her attention turns inward to the source of all experience. She becomes aware of awareness itself. She notices the consciousness that notices. She recognizes the space in which all thoughts, emotions, and sensations appear. People sense this depth immediately. There's something magnetic about someone who isn't constantly checking themselves, monitoring their image, seeking external confirmation of their existence. But what if I told you that this fear reveals something shocking about the nature of incarnation itself? The divine soul understands that incarnation is a voluntary forgetting. To be born into form, infinite consciousness must temporarily forget its infinite nature. Otherwise, the human experience would be impossible. The mirror represents the mechanism of this forgetting. It's the device that convinces unlimited awareness that it is limited, that it has boundaries, that it is separate from everything else. If this resonates with you, hit the follow button, because what I'm about to reveal next will show you why this fear might be the key to maintaining enlightenment in human form. The divine soul lives in a constant state of remembering. Every moment is an opportunity to recall her true nature. Every experience is a chance to recognize herself as the consciousness in which all experience appears. But the mirror threatens this remembering. It pulls her attention back into form identification. It seduces her into thinking she is what she appears to be rather than what she truly is. This is why the fear is so protective. It's not paranoia. It's wisdom. It's the soul protecting its most precious possession, the memory of its own divinity. And this is where the paradox becomes beautiful. The divine soul who fears her reflection is simultaneously the most humble and most confident being you'll ever encounter. Humble because she knows the image in the mirror isn't her. Confident because she knows what she truly is beyond any image. She doesn't need mirrors to know herself. She doesn't need reflection to confirm her existence. She doesn't need external validation because she's found internal validation at the deepest possible level. Comment humble if you can feel the difference between confidence based on image and confidence based on knowing your true nature. This creates something rare in human experience: presence without performance, being without becoming, existence without effort. Others feel this immediately. There's something deeply peaceful about being around someone who isn't performing for anyone, including themselves. But here's the most shocking part of this entire phenomenon. The divine soul's fear of mirrors isn't just personal. It's cosmic. She's afraid not just for herself, but for all consciousness that might get trapped in reflection. She sees how mirrors multiply suffering, how they create the illusion of separation, how they convince infinite beings that they are finite forms. Every mirror becomes a trap for consciousness. Every reflection becomes a prison for awareness. Every image becomes a limitation on the unlimited. Follow for more insights like this, because what I'm about to reveal will show you how this fear connects to ancient teachings about the nature of reality itself. In ancient wisdom traditions, mirrors were considered dangerous spiritual tools, not because they showed evil, but because they showed illusion so convincingly that even wise beings could be deceived. The divine soul carries this ancient knowledge in her very cells. She remembers what happens when consciousness gets lost in its own reflection. It fragments. It separates. It forgets its unity and thinks it is many. It forgets its peace and thinks it is troubled. It forgets its fullness and thinks it is lacking. This is the cosmic amnesia that mirrors create. And the divine soul fears this forgetting more than anything else in existence. And here's what nobody talks about. The moment you truly understand what I'm about to share, your entire relationship with mirrors, images, and identity will transform forever. The divine soul has realized that what most people call self-knowledge is actually self-ignorance. They know their image, their personality, their history, their preferences, but they don't know their essence. True self-knowledge means knowing yourself as consciousness itself, as the aware presence in which all experiences arise and pass away. This knowledge cannot be reflected. It can only be recognized directly from within as what you already are. The mirror shows you everything except this essential truth. It shows you form, but not the consciousness that animates form. It shows you appearance, but not the awareness that witnesses appearance. This is why the divine soul recoils from mirrors. They show her everything that doesn't matter and hide everything that does. People often misunderstand this response. They think she must be insecure about her appearance. They can't imagine any other reason to avoid mirrors. Comment essence if you're beginning to understand the difference between knowing your image and knowing your true nature. But the truth is exactly the opposite. She's so secure in knowing what she truly is that she doesn't need to see what she appears to be. She's found the source of confidence that doesn't depend on reflection. She's discovered the foundation of self-knowledge that doesn't require images. This security is unshakable because it's based on what never changes. While her appearance ages, her essence remains timeless. While her body transforms, her consciousness remains constant. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn that reveals the deepest secret about divine incarnation. The divine soul's fear of mirrors isn't permanent. It's a temporary protective mechanism, while she stabilizes in the recognition of her true nature. Eventually, when this recognition becomes so strong that no image can shake it, the fear naturally dissolves. She can look in mirrors again because she knows with absolute certainty that what she sees is not who she is. The reflection becomes like a photograph of someone else. Interesting perhaps, but completely irrelevant to her actual identity. This is the final stage of awakening, when the divine soul becomes so established in knowing herself as consciousness that no external image can create confusion about her nature. And then something beautiful happens. The fear transforms into compassion. She looks at her reflection and feels profound love for this temporary form that consciousness is using to experience itself. Not identification, not attachment, just pure appreciation for the vehicle that allows infinite awareness to know itself as finite experience. If you're feeling this recognition stirring within you as you watch, let me know in the comments. Write vehicle below. But this transformation reveals something that most spiritual teachings completely miss. The divine soul's journey isn't about transcending the body or rejecting the human experience. It's about knowing herself so clearly as consciousness that she can fully embrace form without getting lost in it. She can love her body without thinking she is her body. She can appreciate her personality without thinking she is her personality. She can engage with her life story without thinking she is her story. This is true freedom. Not freedom from human experience, but freedom within human experience. The mirror that once threatened her awakening now serves her awakening. It becomes a reminder of what she is not. which deepens her recognition of what she is. And then she discovered something that changed everything. The mirror becomes a teaching tool, not for learning about appearance, but for recognizing the one who is looking. Every time she sees her reflection, she asks, "Who is seeing this image? What is aware of this appearance? What consciousness is recognizing this form?" The reflection points her back to the source, back to awareness itself, back to what she truly is. This is the ultimate transformation of fear into wisdom. The mirror that once threatened to trap consciousness now serves to liberate it. Follow for more content that explores the deepest mysteries of consciousness, incarnation, and spiritual awakening, because what I'm about to reveal will show you how to transform your own relationship with reflection and identity. But here's where the teaching becomes practical for anyone walking the path of awakening. You don't have to be afraid of mirrors to benefit from this wisdom. You just need to understand what the divine soul understands about the nature of looking. Every time you see your reflection, you have a choice. You can get lost in analyzing the image, or you can use the image as a pointer back to who you really are. You can ask, what is seeing this reflection? What awareness is present before the mirror, during the looking and after I look away? This transforms the mirror from a trap into a teacher, from a source of forgetting into a catalyst for remembering. The divine soul eventually learns to approach mirrors with this sacred curiosity, not interested in the form but fascinated by the consciousness that perceives form. Comment, teacher. If you understand how even the most dangerous spiritual obstacles can become the most powerful spiritual tools. This is the deepest teaching about fear and awakening. What we resist often contains exactly what we need to learn. The divine soul's initial fear of mirrors protects her recognition of truth. But eventually, this same truth becomes so strong that it can use anything, even mirrors, to deepen itself. The reflection becomes a doorway rather than a prison, an invitation to recognize consciousness rather than a trap for consciousness. And in this final transformation, fear becomes love, resistance becomes embrace, and even the humblest mirror becomes a sacred altar for recognizing the divine nature of what you truly are. If this video has awakened something within you, if you feel this ancient wisdom stirring in your consciousness, comment "awakened" below and share what moment in this exploration touched you most deeply. And if you want more content that explores the profound mysteries of consciousness and spiritual awakening, follow now, because the journey we're taking together leads to the very heart of what it means to be human and divine simultaneously. The next video will reveal the shocking truth about why awakened beings often appear to live the most ordinary lives, and what this teaches us about true spiritual mastery. Until then, notice your relationship with your own reflection. Notice whether you seek yourself in mirrors or know yourself beyond them. Notice whether images enhance your self-knowledge or distract from it. And ask yourself, what would change if you knew with absolute certainty that you are the consciousness looking, not the image being seen? The answer might transform everything.